Now, speaking of star running backs, questions about Todd Gurley's knee will not go away. Our Steve Weich says Gurley is working with an independent trainer trying to get him ready for the upcoming season. And over the weekend, Jay Glazer from Fox Sports said that Gurley's health is, quote unquote, a concern for the Rams. Here is Sean McVay on the star running back from earlier today.
Our goal is to get him ready to go for camp. You know, when we report, I think July 26th. So that's the big picture perspective that we have with him. He's feeling good. He's ready to go. As far as, give and take here, he's always been a guy that has a great command on his body weight and takes really good care of himself. So I think the most important thing to say that you want to put a finite weight on him, I want him to feel most comfortable, and that's the most important thing. What he feels like he can function at, be the all-purpose back that he's been, and that's where we're at. So if he says I'd rather play 5-10 pounds lighter, and he's going to feel better about that, then that's exactly what we'll do. And I think he's earned the right to be able to tell us how he's feeling, with a give and take. And as long as he's got a why, which I know he does, then, we're always receptive to those things.
All right, for more on this one, let's go back to Ian Rappaport right now. Ian, what else is the team saying, and what else are you understanding about the level of concern about the guy who led the league in touchdowns last year?
Well, so much of this, Scott, takes me back to a conversation I had right before the Super Bowl with Skip Peete, the Rams running backs coach, of course, someone who knows Todd Gurley better than anyone in that building. And one of the things he told me was that the days of Todd Gurley just being the straight-up, every down back, bell cow are probably over. Just based on his knee, his age, the position, the amount of carries he's had, it's probably not going to be like that, which, by the way, may be why the Rams drafted a running back in the third round, someone they really, really like a lot. This is a team that is clearly ready to spread the ball around. And, of course, Gurley's knee, the wear and tear on that knee, the surgically repaired knee, is something that everyone knows has been concerning to the team for some time. All they really want is for Gurley to come back when the season begins, when it's really time to go, to be 100% ready. What they don't want is to have all those questions that they had leading up to the Super Bowl repeat before week one.
Man, a backfield by committee for a guy who's probably the best player on that offense when he is right. The last 3 playoff games and the last 2 regular season games, Todd Gurley only averaged 10 carries a game. Thank you, Ian.
Right.
Lindsay?
To be clear, part of the reason that there was so much talk about Todd Gurley's knee leading up to the Super Bowl is because they kept insisting that nothing was wrong with Todd Gurley's knee, though all evidence seemed to be to the contrary. Terrell Davis, as a running back who has dealt with knee issues, what do you make of all this?
There's something going on with Todd's knee. It's not well. And I've been in that situation before. I'm looking at Todd. I watched him last year, and they kept saying that he's fine. It was on us. We didn't get him involved in the offense.
We're not using him properly.
Not using him properly.
Forgot about him.
That's not true. When you see Todd Gurley and he's only getting 7 touches here, they're taking him out of important plays in the game, and you're sparing him in a time when you need Todd Gurley, there's problems with Todd Gurley's knee. I've been, and it may not be to the point where he has to be on the bench, but I've been there where my knee was not great. I've had an issue with my cartilage. They were removing cartilage out of my knee. Almost seemed like every week. It don't get better once you start to take cartilage out of your knee.
No, you start draining it.
And it's a small procedure. Okay. So I went through that. And I remember my last year going through that season. And almost like Todd, I'd play in a game, I'd miss a game. I'd play in a game, I'd miss 2 games. And I'd come back, and I'd have spurts. We saw Todd with spurts last year against the Cowboys. He looked great in that game. Came back, didn't play well. That's me right there. And then
look at that.
Yeah, I'm struggling. In my mind, I'm out there trying to give it my all, but I know this is probably it. And you see I'm making some decent cuts. But that was the last game I played in because my knees just weren't right. And I couldn't get them back, and they kept swelling up. And so Todd is going through this. I fear that this is the beginning of the end of Todd Gurley in terms of the way we saw Todd and be able to use him on an every down basis and having that threat out there every single down. If you got to have a pitch count on Todd and he's only going in his 5th year.
Well, and you're keeping him off the field in the off season.
Yeah, and he's got his own program with his own trainer doing something different. That should be alarming to people who are Todd Gurley fans and Rams fans right now.
I'm both. I'm a Todd Gurley fan, and I loved watching the Rams offense last year. I mean, they were one of the most fun and explosive offenses to watch. So I hope he's back to his old self. But to your point, I think they looked at the workload and said, hold up, we've got to find a way to kind of pull back the reins a little bit. And I think there is some concern for the knee. Anytime you got a running back that has that wear and tear, plus you played 3 extra games. I look at it like this. Sean McVay outsmarted himself in the playoffs by not giving Todd Gurley the ball more. Now he's trying to make sure he doesn't outsmart himself in the offseason by putting him on the field. I actually love the plan that they're going with right now in the spring. There is nothing to gain by putting Todd Gurley on the field for OTAs, for mini camp. He knows the offense. There's nothing more that they can see from him to prove to them that he knows what he's doing. I think get him ready for week 1. I don't want to see him in the preseason. Give me Todd Gurley week 1, and let's see him right out.
No game action. That makes sense, right?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I mean, Adrian Peterson didn't take a snap for years in the preseason. It worked out for him.
So no mini camp, you think?
No.
Okay, because that starts June 11th. It'd be interesting to see if he is at least out there for that. I assume his teammate Aaron Donald will be. He's been out there all offseason, even put in some extra work on the field this past weekend in Las Vegas with a few of his teammates. One of the best pass rushers of all time, DeMarcus Ware, offering up a few pointers at Von Miller's
Where's the knives,
annual
Lindsay?
Pass Rush Summit. Yes, no knives in this one, so not all of Aaron Donald's workouts are dangerous. A surprise appearance at Cardinals OTAs today. Patrick Peterson, who hasn't been around at all this offseason, showing up for the first day of the last week of OTAs, says he's available now because his daughter started summer school, and says he will be around for the duration of the workouts.
Feels good to be back around my teammates, the supporting cast here in this locker room. Got a little sweat in today, got a little lather up today, so it was a good run. I'm definitely looking forward for many more great practices. Got my first pick today too, so that was a welcome back gift.
Who'd you get the pick on?
K1.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he gift wrapped it for me.
So, a good day for Peterson. Sounds like Carson Wentz is having a lot of those lately in Philadelphia. The Eagles quarterback reportedly looking sharp and connecting with Deshaun Jackson quite a bit in OTAs. 6 months after a stress fracture in his back forced him to miss the playoffs for the second straight year.
He's strong. His lower body's strong. His arm is strong. You're seeing the things that we saw a couple years ago when he was healthy, obviously. And he's leading the offense, leading the team, and really doing a nice job out there. Getting on the same page with Deshaun and really kind of getting that rapport going. And same with Nelly. I think Nelly's another one that's really had a good offseason so far. But yeah, Carson, been real impressed with where Carson is. We were cautious early, we just wanted to make sure that he was progressing each day, and we've increased his load, and he's handled it well. Again, we're always going to be a little bit guarded, obviously with all our players, but especially him. But yeah, he's been good.
Well, how about this one? Rob Gronkowski back with the Patriots for a charity event. Gronk at Gillette Stadium for an event benefiting the battle against pediatric cancer. Even shaved the dome there of his head for the event. Afterwards, he said he's happy in retirement, and you can put the rumors of a mid-season comeback to rest. For more, Mike Giardi is in Foxborough.
Yes, Gronkowski reiterating what has been said several times here over the course of the offseason, that you can put the rumors to bed. He's not coming back, that his body feels great and he's in a good place mentally. Of course, in that same breath, he said, well, with me, it doesn't really matter what I say. It's always going to be crazy. His agent, Drew Rosenhaus, didn't put it to bed when he initially made the retirement, saying, well, it wouldn't surprise me if a few months down the line he decided to come back. I've talked to some of Gronkowski's teammates as well, and they said they respect his decision, but they understand he can still play football if he wants to. Physically, he's still able, so until he fully commits to whatever it is he wants to do away from football, there's always going to be that chance, and I suspect we'll be talking about it for some time. Meanwhile, on Tuesday, mandatory minicamp gets underway for the Patriots, and Tom Brady will be here. He's missed the voluntary portion of workouts, although he has been doing workouts on his own with some of the receivers, including first-rounder N'Keal Harry. Got to get that guy on the same page as Brady as they roll into the season untested at that position.
Mike, thank you. As I mentioned, 9 teams kicking off mandatory minicamp this week, specifically tomorrow. And NFL Network has live coverage all throughout the day. It's Inside Minicamp Live, Tuesday, 1 o'clock Eastern, right here on NFL Network. Jets, Giants, Chiefs, and the Cleveland Browns will be our spotlight team.